OKC with an epic comeback. Let's talk about it. Knicks fans, what's popping? Cruz, Triple G, what's going on? Another late night. I think it's worth it though. OKC with a big comeback. Seriously, I thought they were done. They looked like they were done in the water. Looked like it was over with. Somehow they pulled it out. Russell Westbrook went crazy. Pulled it out. What hurts me the most, though, you guys know I'm a Melo fan. What hurts me the most is when as soon as they pulled Melo out the game, that's when that comeback started, man. I don't know. I'm hoping that Melo can come in, when is it, Friday night, have a crazy game Friday night. I need to see Melo do something. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Melo have one of those games. We've all seen it before as a Knicks fan. Melo will be off and not hitting for mad games in a row. And then all of a sudden, he'll come out and drop 40 on you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he can do it, mess around with Russell Westbrook and them guys. You know, because Russell Westbrook really dominates the ball. But, I mean, he did it tonight. He came through tonight. It was crazy. It's like he just something lit into him. You know what I'm saying? And he just went nuts. You know, because they look done. They look dead in the water. They was letting Utah get whatever they wanted. You know what I mean? And I don't know if Utah maybe thought they had this game in the bag. That would happen with a young team. They don't have many guys that have playoff experience. You know, so sometimes you go through those kind of bumps when you don't have the experience. You know what I mean? Ricky Rubio hasn't really been in the playoffs. Of course, Donovan Mitchell, it's his first year in the playoffs. Who's the oldest guy that's been in the playoffs the longest? I think they were talking about it during the broadcast, is Jay Crowder. You know, so they got to learn how to win. They got to learn how to win. Let's see if they can close it out Friday night. Emmanuel, you say Melo doesn't fit the offense. Yeah, I agree with you too. It's not enough rhythm in that offense for Melo. Melo is a rhythm type of player, you know, and that's why when you see Melo get the ball, like when he was playing for the Knicks, Melo would get the ball. They'd give him the ball in that pinch post, 2-3 jab steps, and then pull. That's a rhythm shot. You know what I'm saying? He needed to get in rhythm. You see, you know, when he went off the bounce, you know, a couple dribbles, boom, 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 and then go off the bounce, getting his rhythm. In OKC, he doesn't get the ball in ISO that much. So he's not able to get that rhythm. And then the offense doesn't move with any kind of rhythm. See, in order for Melo to be the Olympic Melo, you know what I mean? Or you know, the kind of guy that's going to sit in the corner and wait for the swing so he can knock down the three, everything has to be in rhythm. Right? Because Melo's going to watch the ball swing. Boom, boom, boom. And then when it gets to him, he's ready to catch a rhythm and shoot. Melo's a rhythm shooter. And there's no kind of rhythm to OKC's offensive game. And without that kind of rhythm, it's going to be hard for Melo to have the type of games that we're used to seeing him have. You know, it's going to be hard for Melo to reclaim the old Melo. Because OKC plays best downhill. You've seen it in that fourth quarter, that third and halfway through the third quarter to the fourth quarter. They play best when they're going downhill, right? Going downhill is not Melo's game. Not now, it's not. But when they're playing fast, going downhill, moving the ball without thinking too much, without slowing it down, that's when they play the best. So we'll see what Billy Donovan does come Friday. You know, Delano Steele Jr., you say Melo has been reduced to a catch and shoot player with no floor spacing provided for him. He should have stayed at least one more season in New York. You know what? You're right. You're definitely right. And the thing is crazy because with the way that Russell Westbrook can go to the basket, if you surround Russell Westbrook with three-point shooters all over the floor, there should be tons of space. But they don't play that way. You know, everything is they're all bunched up. You know, their offense is hard to watch sometimes because they're all bunched up, and it doesn't look like they have any kind of rhyme or reason about it. You say Melo should have stayed in New York for at least one more year. Listen, I would have loved for it. I'm not gonna lie. Emotionally, I would have loved for him to stay in New York, but was that the best move for the team? Probably not. I think it ran its course. Melo, New York. It ran its course. You know what I mean? It wasn't healthy. It was no longer healthy for the organization. It was no longer healthy for Melo in New York. It just wasn't. It just wasn't a healthy environment. So I think we had to move on. As much as I would have loved to see him stay, if things were right, he had to move on. So, moving on was the best thing for him. But I think everything that we're talking about, Melo needing to shoot in rhythm, play in rhythm. If he's going to be a spot-up three-point shooter, he needs to catch it in rhythm. There needs to be space. Those are all the things that he would have gotten in Houston. And I think that's the reason why his team wanted him to go to Houston so bad. Because they knew Houston was going to play that kind of game. That's what Mike D'Antoni does. And at this point in his career, that's exactly what Melo needed. Then you have a true point guard in Chris Paul who can distribute the ball, find Melo in his sweet spots, find Melo in rhythm. That's what they wanted. Now, we'll see what Melo does. You know, I was all prepared halfway through that third quarter. I was prepared to talk about what OKC is going to do after tonight, after they had been eliminated. You know, what was their next course of action? But I guess I've got to save that conversation for another night. Save it for another night. D-Hove, you say he's not the Melo from New York either. No, he's not. And that's the reason why Melo needs to have a point guard that can set him up and put him in the right spots. And instead of Melo being a guy who demands the ball like he did in New York, you have a guy like CP3 who can tell him when he's going to get the ball and then put him in the correct position so that he can get the ball and be successful. You know. Troy Flett, now I agree with you there. You said Melo needs to stop shooting so many threes and play down low and shoot more mid-range shots. That's his game. That's what he does. I don't think Billy Donovan has the X's and O's. I don't think he has the ability to develop an offense that allows Melo to get the ball in his sweet spots as well as allows everyone else to play their basketball game. Part of it is that they don't have the point guard that could do it. You know what I mean? If they had a point guard like CP3 that could play the point guard, push Russell Westbrook off the ball, and then allow that point guard to distribute to everyone else. While Russell Westbrook, he's going to get his anyway. That point guard can distribute to everyone else. I think it would have looked better. You know what I mean? But Melo, I think will one of these games. I think maybe the next game. Who knows? I don't know. Melo's due. He's going to be due for a game. It's going to happen. He's going to be due for a game. You know, and we'll see if they can get past Utah. In Utah, it's not going to be easy. That's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a rowdy crowd. But they may be in a prime position right now. Maybe in a prime position right now because when you give up a 25-point lead, that'll shake you a little bit. That'll shake a team. That'll hit you in the chest. You know, that's a blow. And that'll shake your confidence up a little bit. I want to see how Utah responds to that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, that's a big blow when you give up a 25-point lead in the closeout game. It's a big blow for you. It's a big confidence boost for the other team. And, you know, it always takes, we see it a lot in playoff series. There's one moment where it seems like the team figures out what they need to do against you or against that other team. You know what I'm saying? There's one moment when people figure it out. And that third quarter, when OKC started playing downhill, they just let Russell Westbrook get loose and go crazy, and everyone else fed off of Russell Westbrook. They might have figured it out. Now you've got to see, okay, can Melo, can PG-13, can they let Westbrook go for his and then feed off of him and still get theirs? It's possible. It's possible. Maybe they were trying to force the chemistry. They didn't just let it go, let it flow. I don't know. But there always comes a point. In a series where one team kind of figures something out, and this could be it. This could have been it for OKC. Big shout out to my man Mighty Knicks for the super chat, no doubt. Hit me with the $40 super chat. I appreciate that big time, brother. You say I miss you guys so much. This 40 is from the French Unicorn. I ain't betting against United Nations Sixers again. Knicks need to hire Budenholzer. I love the Spurs coaches. They are all about ball movement, and we need that. You know, I'm 100% with you, bro. You know, the more I look at Coach Bud, the more I'm convinced that he's the guy. Of course, everyone probably knows that I've been I've been wanting from Memphis. Well, not from Memphis. Now I can't think of his name. It's late, you know. It's late. But everybody knows that he's been number one on my list, followed by Jay Stackhouse and then, you know, Mark Jackson. But I think Coach Bud maybe jumped up to the top, especially now. We might as well get to it. We'll come back to OKC. We might as well get to it since my man Mighty Knicks led us into it. Especially now, since Coach Bud and the Atlanta Hawks, Fizdale, that's what I was thinking. I had his name on the tip of my tongue and couldn't get it out. But since the Atlanta Hawks and Coach Budenholzer have come to an agreement on a buyout, which is perfect. That's perfect for the New York Knicks. Right? That's perfect. So now it seems like they're inching closer together. Right? Inching closer together. So if you see the Knicks marquee coaching target leaves his other team. Mike Budenholzer may have moved a step closer to the Knicks job as the Hawks announced Wednesday night they are mutually parting ways with their coach. No compensation will be needed to hire Budenholzer, once thought as a potential stumbling block to any potential deal. The Post previously reported an NBA source saying that Budenholzer considers the Knicks his top choice. The source says if they offered him the job, he'd say yes. He wants to live in New York. All right, Budenholzer goes on to say Budenholzer is the 2015 NBA Coach of the Year. He interviewed for the job on Sunday because the Hawks granted the Knicks permission. And as executives are saying, he is the best coach on the market. So now the ball's in the Knicks' court. Scott Perry, Steve Mills, the ball's in your court. You know, there's no longer an issue with compensation. We don't have to give up a draft pick. We don't have to give up money. He's undoubtedly a free agent. The Knicks still have some guys that they want to interview. All right, they're in Europe getting ready to interview David Blatt. They got the assistant from San Antonio. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what's up. Emmanuel, you say, has anyone considered that Budenholzer might end up with OKC because Donovan is going to be out after the season? He needs to go. I mean, maybe, but I think, from the reports that we have read, he wants to be in New York. You know what I mean? He wants to be in New York. That's where he wants to be. And if that's the truth, now these are sources, of course. These are sources that say he wants to be in New York. If it's the truth, my question is why? What's making New York so appealing to Coach Bud? Is it KP? Is it the chance to turn around the New York Knicks and go down in history as a guy who's turned around the Knicks? Does he just love the city? Why? You know what I mean? Why does he want to be in New York so bad, if that's the truth? I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with it. I just want to know why. Why would New York be his number one spot when there possibly could be teams like OKC who have a much better culture and a much better organizational structure? At least right now they do. Why would he choose New York over teams like that? That's my question. That's, and I'm sure that the Scott Perry, Steve Mills, they've interviewed him, and I'm sure if he has expressed to them that New York is his number one destination, I'm sure they've asked why and wanted to know why. Kenny Black, you say the big stage, and I'm sure for a lot of people, that's the reason why they want to come to New York, so that they can be on the big stage, they can be in a big market. And then, of course, the Knicks haven't won a championship in over 40 years. If you can be the person that helps turn that around, you're gonna go down in history. At least in New York, you're gonna go down in history. So now I guess those would be the reasons. So it's in the Knicks' court. The ball is in their hands. It's up to them now. All they've got to do is pick up the phone, say, Coach Bud, you're the man. We want you. You know what I'm saying? We want you. Let's rock. Let's roll. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's make it happen. So let me ask you this, though. What do we pay him? Not that it matters. It doesn't really have anything to do with salary cap. But what do we pay him? What's fair for him? I think he was making, $7 million a year in Atlanta? Somewhere around there. What's fair? He's had success in Atlanta. He's had successful years in San Antonio. But with all that being said, he hasn't won a championship. Hasn't done much in the playoffs as a head coach. What's fair for him? 4 years, Delano Steele, you say. Oh, Kevin Watson, you say 4 years, $11 million. What's that, about $3 million a year? A little less than that. I don't know if he goes that low. I don't think he takes it that low. He just came from Atlanta making $7 million a year. I don't think he's going to take 4 years, $11 million. His market is going to be more than that. He's going to have a pretty good market because he's a hot coach. He's a hot coach. Executives view him as the top coach on the market. He's not going to get $2.8 million a year or something like that. I can't see it. I don't see that. Or he's not going to accept $2.8 million a year. Some people, 3 years, $6 to $7 million a year, 3 years, $18 million. All those numbers sound okay. Those money that sounds decent. J.R. Will, you're another one. 3 years, $6 million. That's $2 million a year. He's not going to take $2 million a year. Jay Wright is making $3 million a year. He just won the national championship with Villanova. He's making $2 million now. I think he's being he got a raise to $3 million a year. I can't see Coach Bud taking $2 million a year. I don't see it happening. His value will be much higher than that. But then my question is, do we want to pay a coach that much right now? That's my question now. Right? We were paying Jeff Hornacek $5 million a year. Now we're in a building team, the Hawks, right? The reason why the Hawks didn't keep Budenholzer around is because they're rebuilding. And they want a coach that is going to be willing to rebuild. And they also don't want to pay, $7 million a year when they're in rebuilding stages. Right? So that's part, that's meaningful. Do the Knicks want to do that same thing? Do the Knicks want to pay $8 million a year when they're in a rebuilding stage? Excuse me while I fix my mic a little bit. And I'm sure he's worth it. I'm positive he's worth it. And I guess, there's going to be coaches out there that they can pay much less to, right? There's going to be coaches out there that they can pay probably $3 million a year to. Someone like Jerry Stackhouse, and they can pay $3 million a year and get away with it. You know what I mean? And get away with it. So it's a question. I guess it depends on, do you think that Damon Mobley says he's not worth it? It doesn't affect the cap, right, Alwyn? It doesn't affect the cap, so we don't have to worry about it affecting the cap. I guess it's this. Do we think that he's going to be the guy that can develop our players? If he's going to be the guy that can develop our players, he can help us to build our system, develop the players, build our culture, then you know what? He's probably worth it. If he's the guy. If they really believe that he's the guy that can do that, then he's probably worth it. But then, they have to ask themselves, is there somebody else? Is there somebody else who can do those same exact things? We pay him less money, and then we can use that money to build our developmental staff, to build our executive front office. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they'll be able to work out something that's reasonable to everybody, though. Now, do I think he's worth it? It's tough, man. It's tough. It's hard for me to say because I'm not. I need to hear him, right? I need to hear his philosophy. I need to hear what his plans would be for the Knicks and how he would run the team and what his structure would be like and how he would hold players and coaches accountable. I need to hear those things before I would know if he is worth that amount of money. So it's hard for me to say if he's worth that amount of money or not. J.R. Will, you said, would he take $5 million a year? He might, especially given the fact that, he was just bought out. I think he had what he had. I don't remember how much he had left on his on his contract, but he just got paid. You know what I'm saying? He just got paid, and so he's going to be getting double the money when he gets another job. Atlanta bought him out. They probably bought him out for, he's probably still getting more than half of what he was owed. And then he's going to go get another job on top of that. He may be willing to take $5 million, given the fact that he's, given the fact that he's already got some buyout money from Atlanta. He had $14 million left. Right, 2 years, $7 million per year. So the buyout was probably somewhere $10 million or something like that. Something like that. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but if you get a buyout of $10 million, that's $5 million in 2 years. That's $5 million a year for 2 years. Then you might be willing to accept the job, taking another $5 million a year for 3 years or something like that. Because you're getting paid. You're getting paid. Now, I see somebody in here. Damon Mobley. You say you don't want Budenholzer. Why? I'd like to for you to explain why. Why? What is it about Budenholzer that you're not too fond of, that you don't like? Talk to me. Let me know. Talk to me. Why don't you call in? I'm going to open up the lines. Let's talk about Budenholzer. Then we'll get to the NFL draft after that. But let's talk about Budenholzer a little bit. I want to know what you think he should make, what's fair, and then what kind of assistants should we bring in? Should we keep our assistants? Or should we bring in some new ones? I said we bring in new ones. We clean house, clean deck, bring in some new ones. Clean it up. I'm not sure who exactly, but there's some good coaches out there that are willing to, that can come in. I mean, you got people like, some of the names that we've been talking about, some of the people we've interviewed, Mike Woodson, who knows? Maybe he's willing to come back. People talking about Rod Strickland. Maybe Rod Strickland can be a good developmental coach. Maybe Kenny Smith is willing to come out of the booth to be an assistant before he, to kind of learn the trade a little bit before he really is a serious candidate for a head coaching job. Who would you bring on as an assistant, and how much would you give Coach Bud? Talk to me. Give me a call. Skype in. Put my Skype up now. Put it in the chat. Skype in. And talk to me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because whoever we hire, whoever we bring in, this is a big move for the Knicks. This is a point right now where we're at a point where this coaching hire is just so important. It's one of the most important hires in franchise history, in my opinion. One of the most important hires. And we've got to get it right. We've got to get it right. We've got to, and we've got to bring in somebody who's going to help us to build the culture. Change the culture from what it's been, and it's already changing. Scott Perry, Steve Mills doing a good job. It's already changing. Keep it going in the direction that it's going. Develop our young guys. Hopefully, the person that we bring in is a guy that we feel will be able to get us over the top. You don't want to bring in somebody who's going to, take you only so far, and then you have to hire someone to get you over the top. Hopefully we can bring someone in that can take us from ground zero and build us up. And I think that's what Perry and Mills are looking for. I see some questions about Pablo Prigioni. He would have been a perfect. He would have been perfect for the Knicks. Right? He would have been a good guy for Frank. But the Nets got him. That's a good hire. That's a good hire for the Nets. I'm glad. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad for the Nets. I would have loved to see him come back to New York and coach and be an assistant coach. But, you can't get them all. Can't win them all. I think that Pablo Prigioni is going to make a very good assistant coach. He had some problems as a head coach. I guess I don't know if I would say problems, but I read some things about him and his head coaching stint. You know what I mean? And he I don't know everything that happened, but obviously he's no longer a head coach. And he's looking to come back into the league as an assistant in the NBA. But Pablo could be good for D'Angelo for sure. You know what I'm saying? He could definitely be good for D'Angelo. I think that he would have been nice for Frank. Nice for Frank. El Honcho, you say the Nets have a great staff. Yeah, I believe it. They have a nice coaching staff. They're building something over there. They don't have the draft picks because they gave them all away in that Boston trade a few years back. But they're building something over there. You know what I'm saying? And I got my man, Tony Crow, on the line. We about to chop it up with Tony. You know what I mean?
Yo, Black, it's time.
What's up with you, bro? How you feeling?
Shout out to the chat. It's sure, good. Man. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Like, there's really no excuses, man. I mean, the worst case scenario right now is what we talked about the other night with another team snatching him up. But right now he's here for the taking.
Right. Exactly. That's the thing. He's here for the taking. Are the Knicks going to jump on it? That's my question. Are the Knicks going to jump on it, or are they going to go through their process? Their process is almost over, though.
I still say stick to your guns, and if you have an interview that's already scheduled, you know what I mean, you go forth with it, and you honor that.
Yeah, but I think the process is almost over, right? I think I don't
know if there's anybody that is worth waiting for right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, they should have interviewed everybody that is or scheduled with everybody that is a real candidate.
Right now, are they? I know that they want to. I know they're.
So yeah, I'm excited. We don't got to give up anything.
Yeah. Now I know they're overseas to interview Black, right? I don't know when that interview, if that interview is already taken place or not, but I know that they are interviewing David Blatt overseas, because David Blatt is coaching. What is he coaching in Turkey or something like that? Or India or something like that. But I think that is the I don't know if there's anyone after David Blatt. If they have anyone lined up after David Blatt. So if they finish this up with David Blatt.
I heard Blatt and
kind of breaking up on me, Tony.
I heard Blatt and one. Yeah, no, I might have to call you back.
Yeah, it's kind of breaking up on me a little bit.
I'm gonna hit you back.
All right, it's good. Yeah, so I know they have Coach Blatt, and then they had the guy from San Antonio. I don't know when they have that person scheduled to interview. Now I'm pretty sure they're over in Europe right now. I'm pretty sure that they heard the news about Coach Bud, and I'd be anxious to see if they're looking at the San Antonio assistant. James Borrego is next. Okay. So I'm anxious to find out, to see what they're thinking, understand what they're thinking, know if they're ready to just drop everything and hire Coach Bud. You know what I'm saying? What did they feel after the interview? I know Kenny Smith said he had a pretty good interview, feels confident. Waiting to find out if his name is going to be put on the final list. It's going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be. It's going to be an infinite process, what I'm saying? Sunday night, we will know. That's what you're saying, Daniel. That'd be a good time. I hope so. Sunday night, I hope so. Because, how many more people are we going to interview? Are there people in the first? Are there people who are going to be kicked out of the playoffs, eliminated from the playoffs? Are there coaches who we would consider who are eliminated from the playoffs? Are those coaches even going to be available? Let's say OKC gets eliminated. Is Billy Donovan someone that you would consider? I don't think so. I don't think there's anyone in the playoffs that you would consider, unless there are, there's some assistant coaches that you want to consider. There's some assistant coaches you want to consider to either be an assistant for your squad or to become a head coach. Then you may want to wait until the playoffs, until that team is eliminated. If it's somebody that that you think can truly have a future as your man, All right, Tony, we got you back on the line, brother.
You can hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. No Blackest Time. Shout out to the chat. But sure. Yeah, you covered the other coach that we have. What's his name again? The other guy we're interviewing.
We're interviewing. Was it James Borrego or something like that?
Borrego, yeah. Where's he from?
I think he was an assistant coach with I think he's an assistant coach with San Antonio.
San Antonio, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's a wide tree, man.
Yeah. Well, they casted a wide net.
Yeah, I mean the pop tree in general is wide.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Put a lot of people under his wing.
Right. Because people quickly want to hire a Coach Pop disciple.
Disciple, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? They want to get him. You know what I mean? If you coach if you coach under Coach Pop, you're probably going to be a hot candidate, especially if he vouches for you. You know what I'm saying? If he vouches for you, you're going to be a hot candidate.
Again, Bud really is at the top of my list. Like, and it's surprising because I was so high on Mark Jackson and Fizdale.
Yeah.
But if you take a seat back and you look at what Bud did in Atlanta and look at how phenomenal it is, it could be compared with Mark Jackson and Golden State, honestly.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
if you're gonna make that comparison, you want to look at the players that the two of them had in comparison, and it makes it even more phenomenal. I mean, he took a 60-win team. He took a Atlanta team to 60 wins, with no star. Like, that team was built similar to the Pistons team that won the championship. The last Pistons team to win the championship. To a lesser degree, because you could argue that Billups was a star, but yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that guy's good, man.
Yeah, and so what would you pay him? What would you pay him, Tony? And I seen Neri Jung said 10 is the max amount of coaches that can be interviewed. I never knew that. And we've already interviewed 9, so then, that means we're probably pretty close to our coaching search.
Wow, I didn't know that either.
Now, a decision needs to be made. I didn't know that. Oh, yeah, that's news to me. That's nice. That's news to me.
That's nice to know. I pay him what he wants. I'd probably be hesitant to go as high as 7 as what he was being paid. But I mean, it doesn't affect the cap. It doesn't affect anything. And Dolan's willing to pay. That's one thing. As bad as Dolan is as an owner, he shells out money.
Right.
And he's not hesitant about it.
That's the truth.
And he'll pay you to leave too. So
yeah. So my question is this. My question is this though. With Atlanta, why didn't they wait around to see if another team that really wanted him was willing to give up some kind of compensation?
My speculating mind is always to the thought of he probably got an offer, he probably got a guarantee, and the basis was, we really don't want to give up something for you. Why don't you see if you can negotiate your way out? That would be my thinking.
I was thinking along those lines as well.
Because if it's gonna hinder him getting a job in some way, and they already agreed for him to take the interviews, he really, I mean, in a sense, he hasn't won anything. So, like I was saying, the most I would offer was cash consideration. You know what I mean?
Right. But
so I think it was just,
because I think
it was probably them being honorable as an organization and him requesting.
Yeah. I mean, I know if I'm Atlanta and Ishmael Hernandez says Atlanta has no leverage, really they wanted him gone and he didn't want to be there. I get that. That's true. They were ready to part ways.
Yeah, and it makes them look like an honorable organization.
Yeah. I mean, I know if it were me, I think I would have at least beat the bag a little bit to see if anything falls out. And maybe they did. And other teams were kind of like, nah, that's, we're not doing it. We'd be happy with this person or that person.
Yeah. And there are a lot of available options out there as well.
Yeah.
So, and then if they fresh off a championship or Eastern Conference championship, that might be a little bit different.
Yeah. And then, if and they may have somebody, they may want to get on with whatever they're doing too. So, yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm glad this should be over within a week. Especially if that 10 coaching interviews is true.
Right. Yeah.
and then we could trust this process. You know what I was looking at Mo Bamba again, man. It would be something special if we could get that kid, man.
Yeah, and I seen
line him up with KP.
Yeah,
and have oh man.
Yeah, and I seen him on that NBA show today. He was talking about the Knicks a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I might have it. I might have it on my YouTube. You know what I mean? Like on my list of stuff. He was talking about like how he can't wait to get in the NBA or something.
Well, they were asking him because he's from New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were asking him, would he want to play for the Knicks? How would he feel about playing for the Knicks? And he said, he cast a little joke out there. Said, I didn't know the Knicks had the number 1 draft pick, insinuating that he's going to be drafted number 1. You know what I mean? But he said he'd love to play for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? He said it would be a dream come true, more or less. Those words, a dream come true for him to play for the Knicks. He, grew up right around near the Garden. He'd love to be able to play in the Garden. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe, who knows? Maybe. And listen, the kid. I was listening to him talk, and he was very, he speaks very well. He's very thoughtful with what he's saying. He seems to really have his head on his shoulders, man. And if that's the kind of guy that you're getting with him, I'm all for it. I'm 100% with it.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes number 1. I mean, he's that good as well. And Ayton, that's the other big man. He's good too, but he's not as big as he is. He's not a defender like Bamba.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And
right,
I'd rather take a defensive guy with offensive potential than an offensive guy with defensive potential.
Yeah.
That's just the way I am.
Yeah. But, I would love. I mean, you heard Perry. Perry said he's going to take the best talent that's available. And if Mo Bamba is there, which I doubt it, or depending on what kind of draft pick we get, if we get lucky enough to move up in the draft. I know, Tony, you keep saying we're moving up in the draft this our year. We're going to, it's going to happen for us. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, man. Or, maybe they find a way to do some kind of, trade up or do something like that, move up.
Yep.
Right now, if you look at, see, this is the thing here, right? If you look at, I'm on NBADraft.net.
Okay.
I'm going to bring this on over here. I'm on NBADraft.net. And on NBADraft.net right now, they have Mo Bamba going number 8 to Cleveland. Now that is super duper close to us, of course. We got the 9th pick in the draft. And NBADraft.net still has us taking Mikal Bridges. Right? I don't know. Maybe there's something the Knicks can swing with Cleveland.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it's crazy because I'm thinking our best shot is letting the chips fall where they fall and trying to make the trade with the team that picks him. Because if he's gonna fall that low, there's a chance that we can make a trade with the Cleveland,
right?
With the 8th and 10th or 8th and 9th pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't see him falling that low. I mean, what's the list of the top 7?
So they have DeAndre Ayton going number 1 to Phoenix, Marvin Bagley to Memphis, Jaren Jackson Jr. to Dallas, Luke Doncic to Atlanta, Michael Porter Jr. to Orlando, Trae Young to Chicago, Wendell Carter to Sacramento, Mo Bamba to Cleveland, and Mikal Bridges to New York. Colin Sexton to Philadelphia.
Every single team above us could absolutely use a center.
True. They could.
So he could potentially go to any one of them.
True.
So
You know,
yeah,
so you know,
I mean, like
we'll
center
see how
is
that
their
shakes
first
out, man.
option.
Huh?
I said a center could actually be their first option as far as need, like on every one of those teams.
Yeah. You know, so
Except
it's
for
gonna be real interesting to see
except
how
Memphis,
that shakes out.
except Memphis.
And you
But
know, to tell you the truth, though, I mean, you say except Memphis, but
I mean,
you know, what's his name is Mark Gasol.
he's getting up there in age.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age,
and he's not very fit.
Right.
But I mean, so yeah, they could potentially get a center. But I mean, if you wanted to argue that they don't need one, then you know I could see that.
Right.
But yeah, this is gonna be an interesting draft, man. I'm loving all the moves. It seems like a lot of things are falling right in line.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're gonna get lucky, and this is definitely gonna be the start of a change in the culture, and I think we all gonna witness it right before our eyes.
Right. I agree with you. And this is the reason why we need to hurry up not hurry up. We definitely need to make sure that we have our coach in place, assistant coaches in place, developmental coaches in place, in my opinion, while we're moving into the draft and we're doing draft workouts and all those things, because you want those coaches to be able to look at players and have an idea of what they can do with them, how they can help them, you know, what those players need, see them up close, interview them, do those type of things. You know, you want to have things in place as we're going into that draft.
Well,
you know,
one last thing. What I'm really looking forward to. I'm trying not to get too excited because we haven't signed the coach. But if we do get Bud, or if we get a guy similar to what you know what he brings, it's gonna be a beautiful thing to see Tim Hardaway earn that $71 million, because you know he's gonna make him earn it. It's gonna be a beautiful thing to watch him get the point guard situation in order, because he's gonna have no bias whatsoever. So it's really gonna be about the best, you know, the best player, the best guy for the position.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be a beautiful thing to watch get sorted. You know, he might bring the best out of Moutier, which who knows, you know, where he could go with his potential. I'm super excited.
Yeah,
I'm just ready to hear who gets signed, so I could officially let out some excitement.
Yeah, right, exactly. So we officially, you know, talk about it and be excited about it and everything, for sure. Hey, Tony, appreciate the call, man. 1:45 in the morning, as usual.
Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black, it's time.
For sure.
Sim, keep doing your thing, man.
No doubt, bro.
One.
All right, later. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, and you know, we need to, you know, I want to make some moves. I want to get this. I want to get this together. I want to get our coach in place, get our coaching staff in place, developmental coaches, get everyone together so that we can really shine in this draft. We need to. You know what I'm saying? It's an important draft for us. It's an important coaching search for us. You know, this is ground zero. We're starting here. We got some building blocks in place. We got some pieces here. And you know, this is important for us. Seriously important for us, you know. You know, and you know, if we could pull in a guy like Mo Bamba, you know, we can pull in a guy like Mo Bamba to man that center position, you know, because like I'm saying, and as Cantor is he's gonna be opting out. Well, they're saying he's saying he might opt out, but even if he doesn't opt out, 2019, he's gone. He's done. The Knicks, I doubt, are going to re-up his contract. Kyle O'Quinn is probably going to opt out. So, to get a defensive center there, a long defensive center to go next to KP, that'd be a good thing. And then we got length. You got length at possibly at the point guard position with Frank. In the long run, I'm still assuming that Frank is going to be the point guard in the long run. Then you got a long 7'3", small power forward or stretch forward. Then you have a very long center in Mo Bamba. That's a lot of length and that's a lot of defense. That's the type of stuff we want going on. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what we want happening. So just listen. I'm just going to play this real quick. Speaking of Mo Bamba and his thoughts on being drafted to the New York Knicks,
What would it mean to you if you could get drafted by the Knicks? Are you lobbying at all?
That's funny. I didn't know the Knicks were in contingency to be the #1 pick.
Oh.
There you go. There it is. Nice dude. I like him.
I knew I liked you.
Said he's gonna, I like that.
It would honestly mean the world to me. I grew up watching the Knicks. I watched the Knicks when they were kind of at their worst, and I'd always would root for them just because they're it's always been in my heart. But it'd be awesome to play in the Garden. I live 3 train stops away from it.
I got a question. When I was
and so there you go. Said he grew up rooting for the Knicks. I would love to have one of your main players, a star player, who grew up rooting for the Knicks. Melo was a Knicks fan, but have a rookie come in that rooted for the Knicks as a young guy, hometown guy. Hey, you never know. We'll see what happens there. You never know. Speaking of the draft, let's talk about this NFL draft coming up. You guys know I'm a New York Giants fan. I'm a huge New York Giants fan. I've been a New York Giants fan since 1986. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs. Of course, last year was a down year. It was an awful year. It was a painful year for me because I had so much hope for the Knicks. For the Giants last year. So much hope. Bringing in Brandon Marshall to be next to side by side with Odell Beckham. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be something, man. I thought something was gonna happen, but we didn't address the nuts and bolts. Talking about that offensive line. We didn't address the nuts and bolts. And that was ultimately our downfall because, if you watch the Giants last year, the defense would play well, but the offense couldn't score. And there's only so long that your defense is going to be able to remain on the field and be effective. It's not going to happen if your offense can't score. If your offense can't score, your defense coming right back on the field after 3 downs, 3 and outs every possession. Your defense coming back on the field. It's only so long that your defense is going to be able to defend. Not having that offensive line, the soft offensive line that we had, and Eric Flowers is horrible. It's terrible. He just can't. Left tackle's not his spot. Get him out of there. You know what I'm saying? Get him out of there. He's terrible. Eric Flowers is terrible. All this drama going on and talk about him not showing up to, voluntary workouts or whatever. I don't care. I don't like the guy. He's garbage. I don't think he's good. I'm sure the Giants maybe still have some hope in him. I don't. I don't think Eric Flowers is good at all, and I don't think that he's going to produce anything for us. I hope that he surprises me. I hope that he proves me wrong. But I do not believe that Eric Flowers is going to do anything for us. this year. Ace, yeah, he said Flowers might be worse than Moutier. Kind of reminds me of Moutier, right? But I still believe that the Giants had talent. I really do. I really thought that the Giants had talent. The O-line really just destroyed everything for me. And then, of course, when the O-line, couldn't help keep the offense on the field, then the defense couldn't get, the defense began to tire, couldn't get stopped, and then everything just blew up. But I think it all started with the nuts and bolts of that O-line. And then, of course, Eli's getting older. And we got some work to do. John Burrell, right, you said Flowers wasn't even an LT in college. That was bad management. Yep. They tried to convert him over. He wasn't a left tackle in college. He wasn't at all. Now I'm afraid that his confidence is probably so low that even if we pick up a competent left tackle, he may not be good. He may not be good at his natural position. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure the Giants have a little bit of time invested in the man, and they probably want to continue to try to develop him. But like I said, the Giants have crazy talent. And I see someone ask me about Ace, asked me what I think about the Giants getting Dez, if they would get Dez. There's a lot of emotion and a lot of characters to deal with when you're talking about Dez and Odell Beckham. But if you were to add him to a receiving core of Sterling Shepard, Odell Beckham, then you have Dez Bryant. That's something that could be serious. That could be serious. We still need the O-line to protect the quarterback, though. Still got to have an O-line out there. If we don't have an O-line, because Eli Manning can't move his feet. He doesn't move his feet. Eli Manning doesn't get out the pocket. He's not going to run out of the pocket. So the O-line for Eli is even more important than it might be for other teams. If you have a quarterback that can run a little bit, quarterback doesn't even have to run a lot. Just a little bit. Just enough to get out the way. Manning can't do that. He never has. So I'm not complaining about it. Eli Manning has never been the kind of quarterback that's going to get out the pocket and run. Every once in a while, he'll have a run, pick up a couple of yards, whatever it is. But he's not that kind of guy. You know what I mean? He's not that kind of a quarterback. So you got to have an O-line that's going to protect him. And what we've seen from Eli this year, he's tired of getting hit. He doesn't want to get hit. We've seen, I wouldn't blame him. The O-line was so terrible, he was getting touched on every play. Eli was going down before he was even touched sometimes. He was letting the ball out quick sometimes, right? But, if we were to get Dez Bryant to pair with Odell Beckham, Sterling Shepard, Ingram, man, that could be a devastating offense. Now I see someone say that Dez is washed up. I don't know if he's washed up. Maybe. I don't know. He's a big target, though. He's a big target. Now there's reports. I don't even know if the Giants are interested in Dez. Maybe they are. I'm not sure. I would think any team is going to have some interest. Have some interest. But given all that, where do we go? Where do the Giants go in the draft? What do we do? I seen a tweet from the New York Giants today. See if I can pull it up. Talking about David Webb. And, saying that he's ready to take some big steps during his second year. What's that mean? What's that mean? Does that mean that, what's that tell you about the Giants draft? Does it mean that they're not going to take a quarterback? Does it mean that they're looking at running back? I don't know. I'm going to pull this tweet up and see if I can pull this tweet up in a minute, see where I'm at, see where it's at. See if I can find it. I don't know. If they're putting so much stock in Davis Webb, does it mean that this is the guy that they're looking forward to the future? So this is what the New York Giants say: QB Davis Webb ready to take a big step forward in the second season. You could take that a lot of ways. Could take that a lot of ways. If it's me, and if you really feel that Davis Webb is the guy to replace Eli in the future, and I've seen reports from, I think it was Sterling Shepard who said, talked about Davis Webb and him knowing the playbook, studying the playbook and all this stuff. Maybe he is the guy. I don't know. But I think I'm going with Saquon Barkley. When is the last time that we really had an effective running back? Ahmad Bradshaw? Brandon Jacobs? That duo was tough, man. Brandon Jacobs and Ahmad Bradshaw. That was a nasty duo. You know what I'm saying? I loved them. Seriously, I loved them. That was a nasty duo. But since Ahmad Bradshaw, who have we had? Who have we had? Nobody serious. So I think, we go get a Saquon Barkley. And then we beef up that O-line a little bit. We could be trouble. I know the NFC East is going to be sleeping on us like crazy. They're going to be sleeping on us. But, we get a Saquon Barkley and then we beef up that O-line a little bit. The defense, I think, if we beef up the O-line and we can keep our offense on the field, Eli will have weapons. The defense will be strong. The defense will be strong this year. So I think we go ahead and we go get Saquon Barkley. He could be a game changer. You know what I mean? He could be a game changer. I think that's what we need to do. I hope that's where we're going. And what do the Jets do? What do you guys think about the Jets? Jets take a quarterback. When I'm looking at the drafts, a lot of people have them getting, Baker Mayfield. Maybe Sam Arnold, depending on what Cleveland does. I'm not an aficionado on the New York Jets because I'm a Giants fan, but of course, I follow and support the Jets as long as they're not playing the New York Giants. So the NFL draft is tomorrow, and I can't wait to see what the New York Giants do. Let's see, what time exactly is the NFL draft? Let's check this out. Did I don't know. Anybody know what time the draft comes on tomorrow? And you know, I might jump on. You know, just to talk a little bit about whatever the Giants do. You know, tomorrow after the draft is on. Let's see. I still don't see what time the draft comes on tomorrow. I don't know, whatever it is, but the NFL draft is tomorrow, and I'm hoping that the Giants take Saquon Barkley, and you know, we can. Okay, tomorrow 8 p.m. There we go. The draft is on CBS tomorrow at 8 p.m. Good. So I might jump on real quick as the New York Giants are drafting, as the draft comes on, and we can, you know, chop it up a little bit about, you know, what the New York Giants might do and how we're looking moving forward. You know, since I'm a big New York Giants fan. But before I get out of here, you know, I'm about to jump out of here in a few minutes. I want to get back to the Knicks. I'm hoping that we soon hear about a coaching hire so we can start filling out that staff. I think that, and then we start moving into the combine. You know what I'm saying? You know, this combine is going to be important. It's a deep draft. There's a lot of people in the draft. And, you know, we need to have our people there. The people, you know, the team that's going to be coaching moving forward needs to be there. You know, we need to be able to have people out at the combine. Let's see. Because the combine is coming up. The NBA draft combine is coming up soon. I'm trying to pull this up now to find out when the combine is. I believe they have it in the important NBA dates. Anyone can look it up. Key dates for the NBA season. So the combine, May 16th through the 20th. Okay, let's pull this over here. Check this out. So important NBA dates. The NBA draft combine is May 16th through the 20th. And we need to have I believe that we need to have our people in place by then. We should have our people in place by then. Right? It's April 25th, April 26th, with that April 26th. We've got a couple of weeks. We need to have our staff in place by then. You know, so we can get out to that combine and we can really see what's happening. We can really see what's popping. We can, we can scout these guys out for real. Get out to that combine and let's do it. Really want to have our people in place by then. I think it's important. You know, last year, although I'm happy with Frank, I didn't like the process. Right? We let Phil draft Frank, and then we went ahead and fired Phil. I don't like that process. You know, and vice versa. I guess it's not vice versa. I would hate to hire not hire a coach, make a draft pick, and then hire a coach. I think that the coach should have some input on the type of player that they want. You know. So, Alwyn, you said I need a coaching staff for the Knicks and the trading of Lee, Lance, and even Cantor if he opts in, all for youth. Okay, I hear you. I'm with you. You know, I'm with you. We need to make this coaching hire. You know, hopefully, if like my man said, once you get up to 10 interviews, you're done. Then we're almost there. We're almost to that number. And we should be making a hire soon. We should be making a hire very soon. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what's going to happen in the future, with the New York Knicks, Underrated darkness, you say you don't have a good feeling about this coach. Why is that? And which coach are you talking about? Are you talking about Coach Bud? I mean, Coach Bud, he isn't even with the Knicks yet. He's, he's still just a candidate and possibly a good candidate, but he's not with the Knicks yet. So I'm just wondering, who do you not have a good feeling about? Do you not have a good feeling about the coaching search or about a coach, a specific coach? John Barrero, you say, as long as the coach develops the young guys, you don't care who coaches. I get it. Yeah, I'm with you, right? As long as whoever coaches, as long as they have the skill sets that we need in developing the young guys is one of those skill sets. The key is we got to find a guy that does that. And from Coach Bud's history, he may be that guy. Alwyn, you say, if we move Tim Hardaway Jr. back to the 2, and we see the Knicks playing Frank at the 2, how do you guys see them dividing those minutes? That's tricky. That's tricky because Tim Hardaway should play at the 2. And if you in the future, I think in the future, when you're talking 2 years down the line, Frank's going to be at the 1, Tim Hardaway's at the 2, and then we'll have a legitimate 3. That's what I think is going to happen in the future. That's what I think is going to happen. But talking about the immediate future, with Frank playing the 2, if Frank plays the 2, he's definitely going to come off the bench. If we have a legitimate 3 and Frank is playing the 2, then he's going to come off the bench behind Hardaway, especially if Lee is traded for draft picks or whatever it is. It's going to come off the bench behind Hardaway. Now, let's say that we draft a center. Then you might see Hardaway continue to play that 3 spot unless we believe that Troy Williams is going to be elevated to a starter. I don't think he's there yet. He could be. I don't know. Let me not say I don't think he's there yet. He plays defense. I think you probably want him to be more consistent knocking down that outside shot, but maybe he could. But I think if we do not get a legitimate 3 that can start, then Tim Hardaway would man that spot, and then Frank could play the 2 while Trey Burke runs the 1. And is that a playoff team? Probably not. But that should be a team that can be competitive and play hard, be competitive, the type of thing, the things that we want to see. But listen, if the Knicks hire Coach Bud, all that tanking business, I think it's out the window. So for all my tankster wanksters out there that are saying, let's go get Coach Bud, you might find yourself with a little cognitive dissonance, if you know what that means. You know what I mean? Because Coach Bud, one of the reasons he's leaving Atlanta is because he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to lose on purpose. That's one of the reasons that he is leaving Atlanta. And if he goes to the Knicks, that means that they've spoken to each other and said, no, we're not trying to lose. We're going to try to win whatever we can. And that's what Coach Bud is going to do. He's going to play the people that's going to win. So, where are you guys on that? What do you think about that? We might not be able to talk about that tonight because I'm going to be getting off in about 10 minutes. But what do you guys think about that? Yeah, Troy, Atlanta, yeah, they're losing on purpose. But that's the reason that Coach Bud wants out. Right? Coach Bud wants out because he doesn't want to lose on purpose. You know what I'm saying? He wants to try to win. And that's one of the reasons that Atlanta doesn't want Coach Bud, is because they don't think that he will fulfill the philosophy of tanking. You know? So if the Knicks hire Coach Bud, that tanking business is out the window. Because that would say to me that they let him know, no, that's not what we're doing. We are going to try to win. We may try to win with the young guys, but we're going to try to win. You know, so, you know, the tanks, the wanksters, man, you might be upset a little bit if we get Coach Bud. Some of y'all want Coach Bud. Some of y'all want him, but you might be a little bit upset because I don't think he wants to tank. You know what I mean? And so if Coach Bud comes in, you may see the Knicks make some moves. Make some moves that bring in pieces that can help them win. Now, I'm not saying that they make moves like go out and pick up a big name that had, you know, that we got to pay a lot of money. I'm not saying that. I think that they're going to stay within that they stay within their growth philosophy. But they may add some pieces, make some moves to add some pieces where they think that they're really developing and that they may really have a shot or contend for a playoff spot. Instead of tanking, I think that's what, you know, you bring in Coach Bud, I think that's going to be where you see the team go. And listen, I'm all for it. You all know I'm not a tankster. I'm not a tankster wankster. I'm not with the tanking. I like this. Let's go win. Let's put a squad together and see what we can do. Even if you're putting it together with young dudes, let's put a squad together and see if we can go out there and win some games with that young squad. I think that's the way to go. I always think that's the way to go. And if you get Coach Bud, I think Coach Bud is going to be of that same mindset. And I believe Perry's of that same mindset anyway. He said it earlier in the season. He doesn't believe tanking is the way to go. You know, he doesn't fall into that philosophy, and, you know, I'm with him 100%. You know. Troy Fleck, you said, any coach we bring in isn't trying to tank. I would hope not. I would hope that they're not trying to tank. You may have some coaches out there that, you know, just agree with management and say, you know, if there's a team that wants to tank, you may have some coaches out there that come in and say, you know what, if this is what you want to do for the next 2 years, I'm the guy for the job. I'll go ahead and tank. You know, we'll just work on developing this or doing this or doing that, whatever it is. You know, you'll have some coaches out there that want to do that. Someone like Bud, he's not going to want to do that. He doesn't come from that kind of a background. He comes from a winning background. He wants to win. I'm with him 100%. So, guys, it's 2:12 in the morning. I'm going to head off. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to head off. I know you guys got to get to work in the morning. I got some work I got to do in the morning. Hope you guys, you know, have a great day tomorrow. It's Thursday. We got past hump day today, or last night. Yesterday, we got past hump day. It's Thursday. Inching close to the end of the week. And so I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to head off. I'll probably jump on tomorrow night when the Giants make their draft pick. I'll jump on for about 20 minutes. Talk about the draft pick and what the Giants need to do in a little bit. And maybe we'll have some news about the Knicks. Who knows? This is a Knicks show. So anytime that I jump on, we're going to talk about the New York Knicks. But I'll jump on tomorrow night a little bit and talk Giants. You know, talk New York Giants and New York Jets. We'll talk Giants and Jets tomorrow. You know, for about 20 minutes. All right? I don't know if you guys noticed at all, but I had a little bit of a mic problem earlier. I think my mic was low. Hopefully everybody could hear me. I turned the mic up, so it was good. But I think the mic was just a little bit low. It won't happen again tomorrow. I'll make sure that all my settings are correct. Sometimes when I'm doing some mixing and something like that, I change my settings and I forget to change them back. You know what I'm saying? So if it was low a little bit earlier, I apologize for that. But yeah, I'm out. I will see you guys tomorrow. The draft comes on at 8 o'clock. Who knows? Maybe I'll jump on a little bit before, around the same time as the draft. We can talk New York Giants. We can talk New York Knicks. We can talk New York Jets. All right? And I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Be easy. Have a good day at work. You know what I'm saying? And, let's get with it, man. Peace. I will see y'all tomorrow. If you enjoyed this stream, please subscribe below. Ring the bell. Get a notification anytime that I go live. I will see you tomorrow night, just before the NFL draft, so we can talk some Giants, we can talk some Jets, we'll talk some Knicks. Peace.